About a year ago, I uploaded a Nerf video for the very first time. It was about this guy. He actually has 1,000 hits, vids, watches, whatever. But at the time, I didn't have a way of securing the clip in, and I said I'd get back to you on that. Because in the other video, when I did this, the clip would drop out. It's magic! Not really. It's magnets. I'll show you how. So here is our internal shot of how we make the magnet work. There are two ribs that I chose here that are just the right width for using one of these craft rolls of magnets. Get them at your local craft store. I'm sure Walmart may sell these too. And what I found was that these two ribs, the ones that are the closest to the back edge of the mag well, was a great place to super glue the magnet on to the inside. So this is what's holding the clip on the inside. Now, there is a trick. There are actually several tricks. But as far as what's here is concerned is what I found was that by leaving these ribs here, it was just a bit too difficult to insert the clip into the mag well. So what I had to do was shave this down to a bevel, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Shave it down to a point. So this is more like a chisel edge than it is a square edge. And I did the same here. What that does is it gives the clip the ability to start in. But there's enough tension in there that it's, I don't know, a dual friction and magnetic fit. Okay, now the other trick. I glue this guy in first, and I treat this as like my master for how I want the magnets to fit. You just can't take, I'm a liberal arts major, but even I know you just can't take magnets and willy-nilly place them next to each other and expect them to work. There's a whole bunch of nonsense about polarity and astral alignments and stuff. So you may find yourself with a piece of magnet, and you may say to yourself, how does it naturally want to fit? Okay, I cannot lay it square. It wants to lay off to one side or the other, which tells me I need to turn it over. Now it lays square, but it doesn't lay square. It just drops down just a little bit. I can feel it want to drop or go up just a little bit. So I kind of say to myself, okay, where does it naturally want to go? It naturally wants to sit like this. I'll make a mark, and then I'll cut it. Then the other thing I have to remember to do then is say, okay, where does it go on here? So these two ribs worked out really well because they not only serve as a place to anchor this magnet, but it also happened to fit into this gap inside this part of the clip. And then once you know exactly how this is and you cut it, what I then did was on the very first one, I cut it, fit it, I took off the, I took this off, and then I went ahead and laid it against it because I know how my magazine fits in here. And I pressed it against it, and when I pulled it off, this sticky part went with it. I then, well, I mean, I made certain I super glued this down first, but this is also super glued. Once I knew where to put this, I would just cut more magnets, use this as a template. Then I would take other clips and just say, okay, I'm going to place it right here. I know how big of a space this is, and I just, attached it and glued it. And it works really well in keeping them in place. It's not a problem to slide in and slide out, as I'll show you. And it kind of keeps the outside shell looking pretty clean too, which I kind of like as well. Alright, so showing you the insides, showing you the magic of the magnets. Question is, how does it work? Or how well does it work? Well, still tweaking the internals so it's a little bit smoother to get it in, but, right, it goes in pretty well, pops out pretty well, second clip goes in pretty well, and so on, and so on, and so on. That one's a little sticky. It's nice, right? Yay! It doesn't come out. And as I said earlier, right? There's no mechanism. It's kind of clean. I was really nervous about hacking into the shell and trying to put some type of mechanical trigger in there. And I wasn't prepared to, I mean, if I was talented, I would have probably figured out a way to rig a clip release all the way back here, one of those AK varieties or whatever we're calling them these days. But I really believe in the idea of Occam's razor, right? The simplest answer is probably the right one or the best one, the one that's most obvious. So I kind of sat and looked at my materials, and then it just dawned on me. I was like, duh, I can have a magnet hold it in place. So the question now is, why would you do this? There are a lot of options out there about what you can do with megas and why you would go through the trouble of doing this. I have a couple of ideas why you would want to go through this trouble. I love the Cyclone Shock. I love all things Mega. I'm seriously deeply in love with the Mega line. I mean, I worked really hard to bring the Magnus to respectability with the clip. The Centurion is a lost cause. It's a beautiful shell. The Centurion is dead, long live the Titanturian, right? Isn't that the idea? So, but the Cyclone Shock. I love the Cyclone Shock. It is fantastic. It's a wonderful looking blaster, and a lot of people have done some really cool things modding them. But you might say, why go through the trouble of a drop clip Mega Magnus when you can get the same thing out of a Cyclone Shock? Well, can you get the same thing out of a Cyclone Shock? I have one idea why you would go through the Magnus before that, and it looks a little something like this. Let's time me, shall we? And I'm not even in battlefield conditions. Done! 6 rounds loaded in. Alright. Oh no! I'm out! I like the Cyclone Shock, and I play with it on a fairly regular basis. But I think I won there. But there are other options out there. Let's look at them, shall we? But Curry, I hear you say. Alright, so maybe the Magnus can reload faster than the Cyclone Shock. But surely it can't be superior to the Roto Fury! Yeah, I played with this Roto Fury at our last war in Oregon. Yay, go Oregon! And I found a very annoying habit of this particular Roto Fury. Let's watch, shall we? Aww. Looky there. What's that? What is that? Oh, a cute little dart. Didn't fire. Oh, so sad. I have found that darts that are less than pristine, right? That guy's got just a little bit of a oval to it. They don't fire. They don't activate the air restrictor correctly, whatever. They don't fire. More often than not, I was having 2 darts not firing, especially in slam fire, even in single fire. And a couple times on slam fire, I got darts that went, ugh. I don't get that out of the Magnus. I don't. The darts seat in there really well. And I don't have misfires like I have on the Roto Fury. So, when 2 out of 10 darts don't fire, that's a 20% failure rate. 20% failure rate is like recall level problematic for like cars. I mean, if 20% of space shuttles blew up, we would never be sending people up on space shuttles. So, I mean, like 20% is a big number. I'm not equating a Roto Fury to a space shuttle. I'm just saying 20% is significant. But wait, you might add, don't we have another option? Let's take a look at that, shall we? Alright, so a couple of folks have reviewed this, and I don't really, man, there's so many people doing reviews out there. I was like, I don't want to do review videos, but I'm kind of excited about this one, so I'm going to do a review video because I have my own spin on it, I think. Look! Oh my goodness! It's the Air Max Boss, right? The Air Warriors Busby thingy mabobber. Yeah, Busby. And it's like, oh wow, look, if Nerf had figured out the Magnus in the first place correctly, I wouldn't have had to have gone through the process of hacking into this guy and giving him a clip. So you're saying, hey, don't worry about the magnets. Don't worry about having to spend money to get the extra Centurion clips. Just go get this. It's dirt cheap. It's like 12 bucks at Kmart. You know, I said that too. I saw this and I was like, yes, this is great. You know, problem number 1 is it comes with 1 clip, which always just kind of makes my head hurt. I'm like, why would you sell something with a clip? Well, this is true for anything, okay? This is my problem with any clip blaster that doesn't come with at least 1 additional clip, if not 2. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to sell something that takes clips if you don't have additional clips. So right off the bat, this is no better than a Magnus, because the time it would take to reload this and then put it back in and then send it on its merry way, you could have put 3 darts through the top of the old Magnus and you'd be on your way. So there must be another reason why you might want to say, I'm not going to go through this and I'm just going to go ahead and pick up one of these. Well, maybe it could be performance. You know, there's something to that. When I got this, I went ahead and did a whole bunch of crony work. My Magnus stock versus this thing stock. I mean, normally I run an extra spring, a Stampede spring in here. And I pulled it out and I ran it through. And here's the numbers. My notes are over here, sorry. And here's what I found. Stock, I'm getting 69, almost 70 FPS from the Magnus, right? What I found was that the Air Boss was getting about 72. Well, there's something to that. You're getting just a little bit more performance. Statistically, that number might be negligible. What's really mind-blowing is, though, I was getting some mixed numbers, and I wasn't understanding exactly what's going on. What I wasn't realizing was when I was, like, going through my tests, I was testing it and not paying attention to when I was just breech loading the Boss versus just letting the clip system work. When I breech load this, it gets about 81 feet per second. It's 10 feet per second more in this particular blaster when I seat it versus the clip system, and why is that? And the answer is really simple. And I only need one dart to demonstrate this. So I've got one dart in the clip, and in it goes. And now I prime it, right? Now, what I can't necessarily demonstrate very well, but you're going to be able to see. Let's see if I can get rid of the shadow here. Okay, so you can see my knuckle. Now watch how far I press in to seat it all the way. That's probably activating most of the air restrictor that's in there. That's a tremendous design issue that you can, oh yeah, point blank, Busby, Mega Dart, right in the old, oh, it didn't hurt. I'm gonna cry later. So sad. And it's not a one-off. It really isn't. I was really surprised because the numbers are super consistent. Clip fed's about 71. Whoop. There we go, right? So then you fire it. And then you go through that. And then whoop. And then you fire. Oh yeah. Whoop. Anyway, if you're gonna run with something that is a clip system, then you want it to work and be fully efficient. And I'm sure there's probably a way that you could open this up and tinker with the dart stop to make it work. So you have options, right? You've got the Cyclone Shock, you've got the Roto Fury, you've got the Boss. And what's interesting is that all three of them have, I mean, advantage to them and all that good stuff. I mean, the Air Boss has better FPS when the dart is fully seated. The Cyclone Shock looks really cool. The Roto Fury has more darts, and the Drumman's got Slamfire. But at the end of the day, if you've, put something together like this, it's fully reliable, same rate of fire as both the pistols, and reloads way faster. So here's to the little Mega Magnus that could, and why I still am going to run with it more often than not, I think, when Mega Darts are the order of the day. So there you go. Finally, the follow-up video to the Drop Clip Magnus. I hope that was entertaining. Hope that was educational, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Feel free to like. Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment, and we'll see you guys down the road. Nerf on. Bye.